Hey guys, this is DFS Chan. Today is September 3rd, and I'll be talking about the two-game LOL slate for the LPL slate. Basically, we're at a point where in the LPL, the playoffs is finished. As you guys saw this morning, EDG, we had a great call on EDG to win the championship, and they did against FPX. But now we have the regional qualifiers that determine who is going to the big annual Worlds tournament, where all these elite teams from different countries and different regions come together and play for the ultimate world championship. So in the LPL, as you know, EDG won the championship in the summer playoffs. So EDG is going to be going to the Worlds, and then FPX is going to the Worlds as a number 2 seed. And then number 3 and number 4 seeds are up for grabs. And as you will see here, I'll share my screen. It might be easier to understand. Here, this was the playoffs bracket. As you see, this morning, EDG beat FPX 3-1. So EDG won the championship in the summer split. And then here is the regional finals, what I'm talking about. Here is the bracket. So RNG versus WE, that's going to happen today. And then LNG versus RA, that's going to happen tomorrow. So it's a 2-game slate that we have for DFS purposes. So basically, RNG and WE is playing today as, for the 3rd seed qualifier. So the 3rd seed goes straight to the Worlds, and they don't even have to participate in the play-in stage. So it's going to be a very critical game today between RNG and WE as to who goes to the Worlds. And then whoever loses that goes to the next round. And we'll meet the winner of LNG versus RA, which is going to happen tomorrow. The winner of that goes to, and then meet the loser of the RNG and WE bracket here. So then that's going to determine who the 4th seed from China is. So that's going to be very interesting. Obviously, this is, what all these players are living for and playing for. I mean, this is what their career is all about. So, they just want a chance to play in the Worlds and everything. So, I mean, there's full motivation here on the players' part. So that is the overview of the bracket as to why there are some still LPL games remaining, even though the finals happened this morning. This is for the tickets to the Worlds. So let's dive into the actual matchup. Here, let me make the font a little bigger. So RNG versus WE is the first matchup. This matchup is definitely the faster and more bloody matchup on the slate compared to the other second LPL matchup. RNG is the favorite at -185. Team WE is the underdog at +145. Like I said, I recommend using a long stack from this matchup, as both teams tend to play fast. And then the jungle control percentage in the playoffs actually favors Team WE. And then in the summer, it actually favors Team WE as well, which was surprising to me when I first saw it because, RNG was on that, I think it was like a 9-game run in July and August, where they were just unstoppable. But then just the stats don't lie, and Team WE actually has been playing pretty well as well in the summer, and also especially in the playoffs. I mean, we kind of talked about how Team WE does not have does not have many win cons, but they've actually been rolling through a lot of opponents until they got stomped by EDG. But then turns out EDG is the ultimate champion, so it doesn't look that bad on WE's part that they lost to EDG. So yeah, I mean, just comparing the metrics and everything, this is gonna be a very, very close matchup, I think. Two teams play a little different stylistically, but mostly similar. I mean, they both like to skirmish and win fights. I know RNG likes to. I feel like RNG has few more win conditions than Team WE. I think RNG is a more much smarter team than Team WE. I know they are also more experienced, and it's filled with veterans on that team for RNG. So I think I'm gonna have to give a little edge, and the metrics kind of support that as well. RNG has a few more metrics that are more advantageous for them. So I'm gonna go with RNG wins 3-2 in the best of 5. But like I said, it's given the close matchup here, but also given the high kill upside, I think Team WE makes for a great GPP play. And Team WE also is the the biggest underdog on the slate, so I'm sure their ownership is not gonna be as high as, like, let's say RNG or RA or LNG. So that's my prediction. But then, like I said, Team WE makes a great GPP play too. The next matchup, second matchup of the day, or of the slate, which is going to happen tomorrow on Saturday. Yep. LNG versus RA. These two teams are probably the most confusing LPL teams remaining, in my opinion. I mean, they've been so bad at times. They've looked so bad at times, but then they look really, really good at times too. Like LNG has been on a tear in the playoffs too. I mean, they beat so many teams in the playoffs until they lost to Team WE, I believe, and yeah. So, or it was an FPX. Either way, I mean, but then they look really good until then, and I feel like in that series where they lost, Icon looked really, really bad in that series where they lost in the playoffs. But like as you can see, I mean, they shared the same odds, and it hasn't changed. Last time I checked, right before I came live, I checked the odds again, and they're still at even odds. So, let's go through the metrics. I mean, combined kills per minute, like I said, this is a slower matchup. Both teams like to play really slow. Rare Atom especially, they like to play really slow. We joke about how they would fit right in the LCK because they play slow. So this definitely gonna be a slower matchup, I think, compared to RNG and Team WE. And then the jungle control percentage, actually Rare Atom has an advantage there, which again was very surprising to me, because as well as Tarzan for LNG has played in the playoffs and in the summer. This is surprising to see that Rare Atom has a superior advantage here. So that was surprisingly refreshing for me. I think it gave me another reason to back Rare Atom. And then I looked at some other metrics, and they are actually in favor of Rare Atom as well. So I'm gonna have to go with with the statistics and my analysis. I think my eye test kind of tells me LNG, just based on the recency bias. I feel like the recent form that LNG has been in, except for that last series loss. But then Rare Atom, I mean, the metrics do not lie. I mean, there are a lot more pointers that point to RA's win here. So I'm just gonna stick with that. So I'm gonna say RA wins 3-1. And I feel like a lot of the people will flock to LNG here instead of Rare Atom, because RA is not the sexiest option, in my opinion, on the slate. So there is a good chance that the ownership on LNG is much higher than it should be, and then the ownership on Rare Atom will be lower, which we like. I mean, I think Rare Atom wins 3-1 in the series. So if we pick Rare Atom and then their ownership is low, I mean, obviously that'll be really good for us. There is a chance, like I said, I predict more people will have LNG than RA, and then more people may have LNG than Team WE, or as they should. But this might flip as well on the ownership side between Team WE and LNG. It's because people like to play Team WE. They can see their stats on the players for Team WE, and they tend to score really well when they win. So, but we'll see. I mean, but this is a 2-game slate, so you know, you kind of have to get a little crazy. But I have ultimately Rare Adam winning this series, and then I'm probably gonna play a little bit of both RNG and Team WE because I think that's gonna be a closer matchup in my opinion. So anyway, so that's all I got. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I will be creating another video for EU Masters. So yeah, look out for that. And hopefully, you know, we'll continue, profiting from these LOL slates while we have them until we go on a little break before we get to the Worlds tournament. Alrighty, well, have a good one.